Nowadays, we see the topic of energy popping up everywhere. From the news to social media, we hear about energy dependence, renewable energy, the Green Deal, and much more. But what is in fact energy, and how is it present in our daily lives? In the EU, around two-thirds of the total energy available is consumed by different sectors of the economy, such as households, transport, industry, services, and agriculture and forestry. The European Energy Network, also referred to as energy mix, is composed by petroleum products, natural gas, solid fossil fuels, renewable energy, and nuclear energy. But not all of the energy used is produced by the EU. In 2018, the EU's energy dependency rate was 58%, meaning that net importers satisfied more than half of the continent's energy needs. Now that we are more familiarized with the different sources of energy in the EU, let's look at what are the prominent issues of our continent. Data shows that around 50 million people experience energy poverty in the EU. These citizens do not gather the conditions to adequately eat or provide other required energy services in their homes at affordable cost. Due to the pandemic outbreak, the renewables energy sector faced a disruption in the supply chain and a slowdown of renewable projects construction. European Green Deal, that is the EU climate policy, set the goal of transitioning from fossil fuels to renewable energy in order to achieve climate neutrality by 2050. However, despite previous efforts, global carbon emissions are not falling as expected. They even rose 1.7% in 2018. In 2018, 39% of the EU population lived in urban areas. This percentage is expected to reach 80% by 2050. However, estimations show that 75% of buildings and housing in the EU could be more energy efficient. The transport sector makes up for 28% of the total energy consumed in the EU. One possible solution may be the implementation of the car-sharing industry. However, its concept has become more similar to a conventional taxi service, defeating its initial purpose of reducing carbon emissions and congestion. A study published in the journal Science found that the plantation of 1.7 billion hectares of new forests could store about 200 billion tons of carbon. Despite the fact that forestry may be one of the most powerful tools to fight climate change and carbon emissions, the EU forest coverage is still only 38%. Climate change has severe consequences for the energy sector. With the increase in temperature, there is a shift in energy demands. The rising sea levels disrupt energy production and delivery, and extreme weather conditions damage infrastructures. It is estimated that the cost of adapting the existing systems will be between 500 billion and 1 trillion euros per year. In 2018, almost three-quarters of the EU's imports of natural gas came from only 3 countries. These numbers are similar when looking at crude oil and solid fuel imports, leaving the EU vulnerable to global energy price risks.
I think it impacts every single aspect of our life, whether it's cooking or cleaning or traveling or like shopping. I think we really live in a very energy dependent society.
I believe citizens should be able to constantly contribute to all major political decisions relating to climate change, especially at the EU level. Therefore, to my mind, there is one key point that we need to move from decisions by a few to the actions by the all.
I think the EU is it has the right idea with its development of rural communities, but the energy poverty itself, well, first of all, we need to educate more of the EU on energy poverty, and then help the rural areas to develop, have their own sustainable energy, and improve the infrastructure so that the people can access it and not, once they access it, not have to pay amounts that will leave them absolutely bankrupt.
You can work on something very innovative, combining its ability to become an artificial intelligence leader and the one of becoming less dependent, because I truly believe that AI can be used to solve the lack of dependency about the energy sector in Europe.
believe the EU can become energy efficient in so many ways. We can implement policies like direct electrification. We can increase the dependency on renewable energy sources such as wind power, hydroelectric dams, etc. But mostly we need to emphasize how much of a problem it is that we need to become renewable and efficient.
I strongly believe that forestry activities and the most important, cutting down the trees, should be strictly regulated and should be really regulated by some institutions, by some powerful institutions. So I believe that it has to be on the governmental level or something like this.
I believe that the European Union Green Deal can really change the situation. Setting serious goals is very important. And the reality is that achieving our ambitions is always something demanding. And considering this, we have to do our best.